Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday's video was about bugging in, pros and cons, and as I promised, we would discuss bugging out. That's today's topic. I'm Tad, let's talk about it. Bugging out is simply evacuating, leaving the area you are located currently in due to some event that hits your trigger level that makes you believe you will be safer for you and your family to leave that location, whatever the reason is. There's numerous reasons. I'm not going to go over all of that here. You just have to be able to recognize what your threat level is, make your own risk assessments, and be able to have a trigger point that you and your family agree on and said, look, if it comes to this, we are out of here. And then you're going to revert to your plan. A bug out bag and a vehicle is a start, a far cry from a plan. Your plan should include routing to your bug out location. I would suggest having 3 separate routes, and the reason I say that, some routes may be very congested with other people trying to do the same thing. They could be flooded. The government has redirected you. These are things that you need to have a paper map and have drawn out, and if you can, pinpoint your gas stations, your electric charging stations along the way of each of these routes should you have an EV. How long will the EV last on a full charge? How far can you go? You need to put that on you need to plot that out. How far can you go on a tank of gas in your vehicle? You need to plot that out. Do these things ahead of time. Do you have a bug out location? You may have a piece of property, a 100-acre homestead you're going to go to. You may have something as simple as your friend that lives in the next state who's going to let you and your family stay there for a couple of days. And does that friend understand, without you making contact with him, should something go bad, that y'all have already agreed to the fact that it's okay and that's where you're going to? You also have to understand, is your bug out location going to be affected by the same thing that you're leaving your area for? You don't want to have to repeat this. You don't want to get to your bug out location and let's say you're running from a hurricane, trying to get ahead of that. All right, so you move inland. Well, the hurricane, you've been monitoring it, and all of a sudden there's a shift. Are you prepared to be flexible enough to change your plans? I'm going to use a hurricane as an example throughout this video. Your mode of transportation is going to make a lot of difference in how much of your prepping supplies you can carry with you. It's an obvious fact. The smaller your car, the less you can carry. The bigger the vehicle, a lot more you can carry. Your bug out bag should have medical documents, deeds, insurance documents, bank documents, social security card, prescription medication numbers, doctor's numbers, all the stuff that you're used to accessing on your computer or on your phone. Make paper copies of it, have it where you can put your hands on it, physically read it, because the grid may be down, the power may be shut down. If you need those records, you're not going to be able to access them. So that's another thing to think about. Before you bug out, in your plan, you should, if you have children, your spouse works, both of you work, somebody in the plan should, everyone should know who's picking the kids up, where the spouses are going to meet up. Are y'all all going to come back home and meet and take off from there? If it's really bad, you're going to meet up somewhere else. Think about these things. Also, you need to think about being your own emergency management personnel. As preppers, we try to stay intuitive to our surroundings, whether it be social or regional, weather-wise. We know what's normal, we know what's not normal. If you have a hurricane coming and you've been watching it for a while on the radar, if you don't feel like you're in harm's way and you're pretty solid in that thought, then you're probably not going to bug out. But if you're intuitive, you could say, hey, it really looks like this is coming our way, guys. I know nobody's said anything yet, but I think we're going to head out just to get ahead of it. You want to put all the craziness in your rearview mirror when the government announces that it's time to evacuate, because when that happens, the panic buying you've already seen in your area just from the news is going to ramp to 10. The roads are going to get clogged. People are going to start losing their minds at the grocery stores. Home improvement stores are going to be wiped out. Everything. So be proactive and not reactive in that aspect. Try to get ahead of everybody else. That's the main thing. That will save you a ton. Make sure you have cash, some type of currency. In a situation like that, power's down, you're not going to be able to use your debit card, and your credit card won't work. If the power's down, gas pumps are not going to work either. If the power's down, your EV's not going to be charged, unless you have a location that has large diesel generators. So you need to sit down and get a plan now, because a plan made under duress is not going to be a good plan. It's not. You're going to be stressed out trying to put all this stuff together, and you will miss something. You will. You also need to take into consideration leaving your preps behind, your home behind, things of that nature. Well, what you're leaving, and so be it. I mean, if you feel that you genuinely need to go, then go. But also keep in the back of your mind that what you're coming back to may not be anything like what you left. That natural disaster may have destroyed everything you own. If it wasn't completely destroyed, it may have already been looted, and we know that happens. We've seen it. You got to be emotionally prepared to come back to that reality. You can't come back and say, oh, I would never think people would do this. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Hope is not a plan. It's an emotion. So, guys, I'm probably preaching to the choir with a lot of this. I understand that. But if there's one person out there that got some information from this, if there's something I didn't cover, hit me in the comment section. I'll be glad to discuss it on the video or directly speak to you through email. So anyway, I would certainly appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, share, comment. Helps me out in the channel. You guys that have already done that, I am so graciously appreciative. I really, really do appreciate it. So join me tomorrow for the next video where we will talk about it. You guys, thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.